Hi everyone, and welcome to a special edition of my sort of currently inked weekly rotation videos. Today I have, almost by accident, sort of a Lamy versus PIlot week. Now this is, obviously all of these pens are sort of entry level or considered disposable sort of pens, but that's sort of my philosophy on pens anyway, really. It's about the function of the pen and durability, and as they leave the house so much and I'm in rehearsal rooms so often, they're easy to lose and I don't want to get stressed out. So at the moment these are the pens that I have inked. So what I'll do is I'll show you each pen, talk about the ink that I've got it with, and then, I'll just sort of give a brief rundown of my thoughts. So we'll start at the top. First is the Lamy All-Star Black, which is inked with Diamine Jet Black, which, as I said before, is not necessarily my favourite black, but I'm working it through the pen as we go. And that's in a fine nib. Next we have a Lamy Safari with a broad nib, and this is the charcoal Safari. And this is inked with Robert Oster Tranquility, which I have to say, it's proving to be a pretty awesome ink. I'm preparing it for review at the moment, and I really, really love it. This is going to go close to being one of my all-time favourite inks, I think. The next Lamy pen is another Safari, the Neon Lime, which is the same as the sort of last couple of weeks. This is inked with Mont Blanc, Irish Green, and it's in a fine nib, and I think that this ink looks great in this nib. Now over to the PIlot side very quickly. We have PIlot Metropolitan in the purple finish, I guess you call it, with a 1mm stub nib. Technically I think it's a calligraphy nib, but for my purposes it does the job. The Metropolitan is inked with Lamy Dark Lilac. And next we have the PIlot Prera, which is in the demonstrator but with a black trim, finished with a medium nib. And the Prera is inked with Detrimentus Chocolate, which is a scented ink and not necessarily my favourite colour, but some of the shading's really quite pretty. Next we have the PIlot Varsity. And the Varsity is really a disposable pen. It's probably the cheapest of all of these pens. Not necessarily easily refillable. Apparently you can eyedropper convert it afterwards, but we'll see how I go with that. And that's inked with the preloaded PIlot Blue. And then the last pen is the PIlot Petite, which is very petite. I got the blue-black version. I really like the PIlot blue-black, as it turns out. I hadn't tried the ink before, and it's just in the preloaded sort of cartridge that comes with the pen. So now a couple of these pens have a function in my sort of rotation. Obviously the Lamy Black, All-Star Black, is for my main sort of everyday writing, and then the Neon Lime is for the my bullet journaling, and of course the charcoal is, as I said, it's the pen I use for my reviews, and at the moment it's the Robert Oster Tranquility. The Metropolitan, up until a couple of weeks ago I really didn't like the Metropolitan, and then I tried my black Metropolitan with a medium nib, and yeah, sort of something changed a little bit. I don't know, it wasn't quite as uninspiring as I thought, so I got the purple one with the 1mm stub, and I really, really like that. And partnered with the dark lilac ink, you get some lovely shading and some nice shape to the writing. I'll skip the Prera for a second, I'll come back to that. The Varsity is a disposable pen. It sits on my desk. It's what I grab to write my notes with, and they are really, really beautifully tuned pens for disposable pens. They write really well every time, first time every time, and it's a nice pop in the blue as well. The Petite is a doesn't really have a function. I just really quite like it. As I said, I like the blue-black. It's a cute pen. It sits in my drawer, and I can chuck it in my pocket if I'm not taking the All-Star or one of my brass pens around with me. So now back to the Prera. Now this is a pen that I've had for a while. I think it might have been the second fountain pen I bought just from my local stationery store. This is the this and the Safari Lamy Vista, whatever you want to call it, are the only two fountain pens they stock. So I got this one as at that point I had no idea what Lamy really was, and I knew the brand Pilot. I think I had a Metropolitan already. This is a tiny pen. Just like if I put it next to the All-Star, which isn't a huge pen, you can just see how small it is. And if we post them, which is how I prefer to write with my pens, you can really see it's quite a difference. Now, I decided to give the Prera, I really didn't like the Prera when I got it. It was just too small and it felt a bit like a toy pen. Yes, the closing mechanism is just absolutely gorgeous. Just listen. Oh, yeah, we love that, don't we? But, you know, it is just such a small pen, even posted. But as I'd come back around to the Metropolitan, I thought I'd give the Prera another go. And I'm not sure. I'm still really not convinced. It doesn't write as well. It may be just this Prera. People really do love these pens. But it doesn't do anything for me yet. It might also be this ink, which isn't my favourite ink. So I might give it a try with another ink over the next few days, something that I know really well and like really well. Perhaps Mont Blanc Lavender Purple, or even one of the Robert Oster inks, Fire and Ice, for example. But at this stage, yeah, I'm not entirely convinced it's going to stay in my rotation beyond the next sort of few days. It's just not a pen that I enjoy. So, Lamy versus Pilot. Well, there's a lot that can be said in this debate, and I really love the Lamy pens. I think that they write well, they sit well in my hand. I've always liked them. From the first time I picked up an All-Star, I really, really liked this pen. It's a good size in my hand. I like the grip, it fits how I write. Posted, it's still not too big to be uncomfortable. And they're just reliable, and I love the fact that you can change out the nibs. So when I first got this, I had a medium in it, and then I started on something with a bit more character, so I put a 1.1 on it, and then as I started using Leuchtturm notebooks for my bullet journaling and was doing quite a lot of writing, that was just too much in that. It ghosted like crazy. So I put a fine nib in and it's working really well. The Pilot range, the nibs are really smooth. The Metropolitan and the Varsity particularly, as I said, I'm not convinced on the Prera. And some of the higher end Pilot pens are really great. But what I love about the Pilot brand is these sort of disposable pens that they do. Lamy don't do a disposable pen. Platinum do, and Pilot do. They're probably the two main ones, the Preppy and the Varsity. And there are a few other brands as well, of course, but those are probably the main two that we all know. And they write so well, they are reliable, and yeah, I can't say more about them. So for my everyday writing pens, I think the Lamy are the more impressive and better for my style of writing, but for the disposable end and for the much cheaper end, the Pilot pens just do such a wonderful job. So that's my weekly rotation and what I'm working with at the moment and what I'm enjoying. I've still got a couple of other pens inked, like my Visconti Michelangelo, and which I'll be doing a review of. That's been requested, which is exciting. So I'll be doing that the next week or so. But this is what I'm working with sort of over the next week or so. I hope you liked the video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. Hit the notifications button so that you can be kept up to date with what I produce. And please feel free to message me. I love engaging with the community, and if there's any pens or ink or other stationery, pencils, notepads, that sort of stuff you'd like me to look at, please get in touch. If you've got anything you'd like to send me, I can always give you my address for that. In the meantime, enjoy your pens, enjoy writing, and I'll see you later.